Hare Krishna, Radhe Radhe. Welcome.
It's not showing up on my page.
Did you start it?
Yeah. There it is. Remember, it's delayed, that's why. Okay. Radhe Radhe Shashanji. Radhe
Radhe Radhe, Hare Krishna.
Didi.
Do you have your mridanga?
Huh? What?
So he's asking if you have your mridanga, if you play along with us.
Oh, jeez. I can hear. Hold on.
Jai Srila Gurudev ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Rupananda Gauri Guru Varga ki jai, Patipavan Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Prem Purushottam Shachinandan Gaura Hari ki jai, Radha Vino Bihari Ji ki jai, Shri Radha Raman Sarkar ki jai, Shri Giriraj Maharaj ki jai, Hari Nama Sankirtan ki jai, Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Gaur Premanande.
Hari 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 Bo. Dandavat Pranam, all beautiful Vaishnavas. I wish I could call each one of your names individually, but we're so happy you're joining us. Page 1, Mangala Charana.
Are you gonna warn them?
What?
Are you gonna warn them
One who?
about the internet? In case?
Just make sure that
Sorry.
stays on. Page 1, Mangalacharan, starting with Vandeham, V-A-N-D-E, Vande. Vandeham Shri Guru, Shri Padakamalam, Shri Guru, Vaishnavanscha, Shri Rupam, Sagrajatam, Sahavana Raghunathanvitam, Tam Sajivam, Sadvetam, Savadhutam, Parijana Sahitam, Krishna Chaitanya Devam, Shri Radha, Krishna Param, Sahana Lalita, Shri Vishakhanvitamscha, Om Ajnanatimirandhasya, Jnananjana Shalakaya, Chakshurmilitam Yena, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya, Radhikaya Priyatmane, Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta, Narayanitti Namine, Shri Krishna Lila Katane Sudaksham, Audalya Madhurya Gunaishtrayuktam, Varambarenyam Purusham Mahantam, Narayanam Tvam Shirasha Namami, Srikanninam Bhaktashiromaniam cha, Shri Krishna Pada Tripitaika Hridni, Chaitanya Leelamrita Sarasar, Narayanam Tvam Satatam Prapadye. Namo Vishnupadaya, Krishna Presthaya Bhutale, Srimate Bhaktivedanta, Swami Nitti Namine, Namaste Saraswati Deve, प्रेमदायिने नमः विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्त सरस्वती नामिने श्रीवर्षभानुमि देवी गीताय कृपाभये कृष्ण सम्बन्धविज्ञान गैने प्रभवे नमः माधुर्योज्ज्वलप्रेमाढ्या श्रीरूपानुगभक्तिदा श्रीगौरकरुणाशक्ति विग्रहाय नमोऽस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दीनपालिने रूपानुगविरुद्धापो सिद्धान्तो ध्वन्तहारिणे नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्भरसम्बोधे तदम्बुजायते नमः नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगमनायते गौराविर्भावभूमे स्वं निर्देष्टा सजनप्रिया वैष्णव सर्वभौमश्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः वञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरद्विषे नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकाकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जयतां सुरतो पङ्गो मम मन्दमतिर्गति मत्सम्बोजो राधामदनमोहन दिव्यवृन्दारण्यकल्पद्रुमदं श्रीमद्रत्नागारसिंहासनस्थो श्री श्रीराधा श्रीलगोविन्ददेव प्रेष्ठानिभिः सेव्यमानो स्मरामि श्रीमन्द्रसरसारम्भे वंशिवततस्तुतः कर्षन्वे गुरुस्वरगोपी गोपीनाथ श्रीस्तु नः वृन्दाय तुलसीदेव्यै प्रियायै केशवस्य च कृष्णभक्तिप्रदे देवी सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं जय श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य आनन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द चेतोदर्पणमार्जनं भवमहादावग्निर्वापनं श्रेय वैनवचन्द्रिकावितरणं विद्यावधूजीवनम् बुद्धिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतास्वादनं सर्वात्मस्नपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनं हरे नाम हरेर्नामेव केवलं कलो नास्त्येव गतिरन्यथा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
Gurudev Kripa Karke,
मुझको पकड़ा लेना।
page 360, and it starts with Gurudev Kripa Karke, K-A-R.
No, Gurudev, G-U.
Well, no, I mean, they know Gurudev. You better.
O He Vaishnava Thakur.
Page 39 in the songbook. O He Vaishnava Thakur.
Starting with O-He, O-H-E.
Vaishnava.
Page 39.
For everyone from England, 39.
39.
Thank you, Jiva Pavana Prabhu.
O He Vaishnava Thakur, Doya Sagar, Veda Se Murna Gurudeva. O He Vaishnava Thakur, Doya Sagar, Veda Se O He Vaishnava Thakur, Shubha There's a bit of a rainstorm outside right now. Vrindavan has been having very interesting weather. It's very cool for this time of year and rainy just now. So.
Actually, our drummer Subhadra just had to go and run and close all her windows and doors because immediately it started raining.
The rain comes in the windows.
So I thought it's a good time to tell a story. Maybe many of you have heard this, but whenever I sing this bhajan, I remember a particular incident that happened with our Gurudev. Because I used to hear him say something quite often. And he would say that bhakti, love and devotion to Krishna, is the janma adhikar. It is the birthright of every jiva. Nitya Krishna Das, it is your right, your birthright. You are made of that. And he said, so why is it so rare? And he said, because we don't want it. And I used to think, actually, Gurudev, I do. I want it. It's why I'm here. It's why I go on Brajmandal Parikrama and I was staying in a tent or, thinking that I'm doing bhakti. So one day, it just so happened, first in 1998, Srila Gurudev gave us our Thakurjis, Radha and Krishna, Radha Vinod Bihariji, and he did Pran Pratishta. He installed them. And 1 year later, Sri Gauranga came. And by the time he appeared, we were in the Fiji Islands, and my Gurudev had also come to the Fiji Islands. And so I brought Lord Gauranga, and I was hoping my Gurudev would do Pran Pratishta, install them. So one day I was sitting in a darshan. There were about maybe 30 Vaishnavas there just sitting, and my Gurudev was speaking. And I was sitting up close, and my husband was sitting somewhat farther back. And when the darshan had ended and he stopped speaking, I said, Srila Gurudev, will you do Pran Pratishta of my Mahaprabhu? Will you call the Lord into this beautiful form? And my Gurudev looked at me and he said, what will you give me? And I said, well, I don't have anything. I only have 2 suitcases, a few saris, that's all I have. And he just kind of like, not impressed. And he began speaking to other Vaishnavas. So a few minutes passed, and again I said, Srila Gurudev, will you do Pran Pratishta of my Mahaprabhu? And he said, what will you give me? And I looked at him, and then he pointed across the room to Kishori Mohan Prabhu. And he said, will you give me Kishori Mohan Prabhu? I will give him sannyas. Would you like that? And I thought, oh. And I said, Gurudev, I will always try to like everything you do. That was my answer. And again, he wasn't impressed. So after some time, he got up and was ready to go out the door, or to his room, into his room. And at that time, we were standing together, Kishori Mohan Prabhu and I. And we were behind Gurudev. I said, Srila Gurudev, will you do Pran Pratishta of my Mahaprabhu? And he spun around and he looked at me and he said, do you want Prabhu or Mahaprabhu? And immediately I started to shake. My ears I could feel turning really hot, and I was sweating. I was frightened. I was thinking, oh my God. And so really quietly, without any heart, I said, Mahaprabhu. Gurudev again said, do you want Prabhu or Mahaprabhu? So then louder, with a little more gusto, I said, Mahaprabhu. And Gurudev just smiled and he put his hand in a blessing to me and said, thank you. And he walked away. And I was left there completely shaken. I thought, oh my God, I just gave my husband away. And now what's going to happen? What am I going to do? Where am I going to go? All kinds of craziness was going in my heart. And then I asked my Gurudev Sevak, what do I do, And he said, oh, bring Thakurji in the morning. Gurudev will do Pran Pratishta after bathing. Many years later, we were singing this kirtan. Amito Kangal Krishna Krishna Bole. Daitava Pache Pache. I am running after you. You have Krishna. You can give Krishna. So I'm running after you, begging, please give me Krishna. And we were singing it. I remember being in Germany. And we were singing it. And it just stopped me in my tracks. And I remembered not wanting Mahaprabhu. I wanted Prabhu. And I was thinking, no, it's the opposite. The Vaishnavas are running after us, saying, I have Krishna, and I will give Krishna to you. Take Krishna, take Krishna. And we're running away, saying, give me your mercy, give me your mercy. And they're running after us, trying, but we don't really want it. And I was shocked because at the time, I thought back and I thought, yes, I want Mahaprabhu installed, but I also want Prabhu. And I want my saris, my lipstick, my whatever other desires. I want everything and bhakti bhav and prem. I want everything. I don't want to have to give up any material thing. And it really struck me deeply that yes, it is so rare because really when it comes down to it, if we check our pulse, we can see, do we really want bhakti? Or are all of our attachments everywhere in this world? And we're calling out for mercy. When we're asking for mercy, we're not asking for a house or for a job or for a husband or a wife or a child. When you're calling for mercy from the Vaishnavas, that means we're calling for Krishna, for Krishna's mercy to descend in the form of the Vaishnava, give their Harikatha and cut our attachments. Thankfully, Sri Guru and Vaishnavas are so merciful. He gave me Mahaprabhu and let me keep Prabhu and my saris for some time. But the point is that really, when we go deeply into these kirtans and we apply it to our own hearts, we can check and we can see, oh, where is my sickness lying? Why am I not running forward? Why don't I want it?
That choice will have to come to all of us eventually. Do you want Prabhu or Mahaprabhu? Okay. So next. I was thinking of either Punjabi or Bol Hari Bol.
Bol Hari Bol.
It has Gaur Nityananda.
Yes.
What's it start with?
174.
Mana, isn't it?
Manavo?
What page? 174.
Wow. Bol Hari Bol by Srila Bhaktivedanta. Bol, B-O-L, page 174 in this book, and it's also in the Gaudiya Kirtan app, and Jiva Pavana Prabhu will share it with you.
Thank you so much.
I was.
Okay.
We'll have to change this because it's too high. It's going to go a little bit higher. Excuse me. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Sachinandana Gaur Hari ki jai, Prabhupada Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai.
So much joy. How about Radha Krishna Govinda?
Radha Kunda Tata Kundu Kutira.
So we pray.
Today my brother sent me a recording of Srila Bhaktivedanta Srila Maharaj singing Radha Kunda Tata. It was so beautiful, I was thinking about it for a long time today.
Page 218.
Radha, R-A-D-H-A, Kunda Tata, Bhaktivedanta Thakur, and it's 218. 218.
It's not working?
No, Radha.
Oh, okay.
Is this working?
Yeah.
Okay, so Radha Kunda Tata. Radha Kunda Tata Kunja Kutira Govardhana Parvata Yamunati very loudly so that the whole world, turn your speakers up. I remember reading from one of our acharyas that wherever Harinam is being chanted, from that place, the vibration is going out everywhere. So if there's one location, then there's so much vibration. But if you have thousands of locations, or hundreds, all at the same time, then everyone in that vicinity is purified and touched by that vibration. So the more and the louder, the better. Hare Rama,
Sangha ki
Jai.
jai.
Uh-oh. 50%, you 50% of your high speed.
Is used.
You have 50% left. You have an hour left.
Jai.
Say it
We only have an hour left.
on our...
Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namah Ajnanatmirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Nama Om Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayanitti Namine Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitti Namine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Girin Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam. First of all, I offer my Dandavat Pranam thousands of times in the dust of the lotus feet of our beloved Gurudev Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad astottara Srimad Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaja. And the same unto the dust of the lotus feet of Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad astottara Srimad Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaja Srila Prabhupada. To all of our Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Varga, and to all Vaishnavas, past, present, and future, including all of those who are joining us on Facebook Live, my Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
So today I received a message from one of our God sisters. Her name is Rasakeli. She wrote me today that her brother, her older brother,
43.
he was only 43 years old. His name is Krishna Balaram Das. He passed away suddenly, not related to the virus. But I would just like if we could all offer prayers on his behalf, calling out to Sri Guru and the Vaishnavas, Gauranga, Radha and Krishna, to please bless him on his journey. I asked her if there was any pre-warning, and she said no. And for me, that was a very great wake-up call, because he was 43. I'm older than him. So it's proof, once again, that at any moment, anyone can depart. And I was meditating on this subject a little bit today. If we were guaranteed only 2 days, what would we want to think about? And what would we want others to remind us of? Because all we have is that. We never know how much more time we have. So, for me, it creates a very deep source of contemplation. Srila Prabhupada again and again told us the whole purpose of all of our practices in bhakti is so that we can remember Krishna at the time of death. And that doesn't mean that I can waste my time throughout my life remembering and thinking about all other subjects, mundane subjects, and then in the last minute I have the power to recollect Krishna, to remember Krishna. What I do with my time, what I do with my life, what I do with my energy, how I absorb myself, the attachments that I form to my family, to my friends, to my house, to my car, to my dog, to my cat, to my lizard and fish, whatever. All of these things that we bind ourselves to and become attached to in this world, These are our anchors in this material world. And the only way to remove the attachments is to bring those attachments, to form attachment to Krishna, by which those other attachments are gradually dissolved. So we have this situation where a devotee, he was born in a family of devotees, went to Gurukul when he was a little child in Mexico, was raised as a devotee, and today he has left this world. And so he's very fortunate to have been brought up like this. And he's very fortunate to have devotees in his family, and that he himself is also a devotee with the name Krishna Balaram Das. So I request that you all pray to him, but also he's given us, pray to him also. For him and to him. But pray for him. We're here in Vrindavan now. Sri Jamuna Maharani is the carrier of our prayers to Krishna. It is said that in the Shastra, that when Krishna killed King Kamsa in Mathura, at that time, he was feeling very alone. Although so many persons were there, still, usually when he would kill the demons in Vrindavan, who was there to cheer him on? The gopis. Krishna is known as a hero in Vrindavan. So the gopis would always say, wow, you're so strong, look, you killed the demons. But when he killed King Kamsa, there were no gopis there present, because they don't step outside of Vrindavan. So Krishna, feeling separation from them, went to Vishram Ghat in Mathura, on the bank of Jamuna. And the gopis here in Vrindavan had heard, but they weren't able to witness. So they were feeling deep separation from Krishna. They went to Jamuna here, Keshi Ghat, this area. And here they were remembering Krishna, feeling deep separation from him. And all of the moods in their heart of separation, and all of Krishna's moods in his heart of separation for them, were able to be experienced by the medium of Sri Jamuna. Just like an electric wire with an electric current will transmit that electricity, in the same way, Jamuna is transmitting the bhav of the devotees to Krishna. As she flows toward the ocean, in the same way, she will take our mood, our heart, and everything to Krishna. When Krishna was about to depart from this world to continue his transcendental pastimes on his road show, he requested so many personalities to remain behind for the benefit of the jivas, so that they can connect to him when they are feeling separation. And one of those divine personalities was Sri Jamuna Maharani. Sri Jamuna Maharani ki jai. So we can pray to her that may she carry the innermost necessity of his soul, that internal crying to Krishna. And really, when it comes down to it, not just him, all of us. Externally, we have all of this other stuff going on, but inside there's only one necessity of our soul, and that is to love and serve Krishna. So we can pray to Krishna's dearest devotees. They are the connecting principle for our hearts to reach to Krishna. And Jamuna, she is so attracted to Krishna that when Krishna is playing his flute, she reverses her course and offers her heart in the form of lotus flowers at his feet. So may our hearts become like these lotus flowers, and may she be merciful to us and offer them at his lotus feet. So please say a prayer for this devotee Krishna Balaram Das, and also for his family who are feeling separation at this time. And also please let it be a wake-up call for all of us, that we don't know when we're going to go, but we should be aware. We should be aware of this, that any moment, everything might seem fine, but any moment, this life, which is so fragile like a drop of water on the petal of a lotus, can disappear. So we should use our time wisely. Srimad Bhagavatam says, Labdva sudurlabamidam bahusambhavante manusham artadam anityam apiha dhira turnam yate tanapatet anumrityavan nishreyashaya vishaya khalu sarvatasyat. Very important verse in Srimad Bhagavatam. says this human form of life is extremely rare and it is rarely attained. And although within this human form we can experience the same activities that we can in any other form of life, including that of animals, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, the speciality of this human form is that only from the human form can one actually endeavor for perfection. So until this body can no longer be maintained, until it drops off, until it is finished, one should utilize every waking moment in the search for that absolute truth. Srila Bhakti Rakshak Srila Maharaj speaks about that. Awake, arise. The goal of your search exists. You are made of nectar. You should not be satisfied by anything but nectar. Don't accept any other excuse. You are made of it, you are meant to taste it, and you are meant to live it. So with everything at your disposal, you should search for that source of nectar. Akhila rasamrita murti, rasa amrita, the source of all nectar. Search for Sri Krishna, reality, the beautiful. Krishnanusandhana. So now we will begin or continue with Sri Going Beyond Vaikuntha. This is again the commentary of our Srila Gurudev, one of his commentaries on Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita by Sanatan Goswamipada. So I'll begin by offering the prayer from Raghunath Das Goswami to Sanatan Goswami. Vairaga Juga Bhakti Rasam Prayatner Apayanam Mam Anubhipshmandam Kripambudirya Paradukaduki Sanatanastam Prabhum Ashrayami. And praying to the lotus feet of Sri Sanatan Goswami and our Srila Gurudev, that may the moods that are present within these pages, even a drop of them, manifest within our hearts. So yesterday we spoke about Mahaprasad and the tattva of Mahaprasad. Because Gop Kumar had been feeling sad at the way that certain persons were disrespecting Mahaprasad. Where did it go? There it is. He was feeling sad at the way that certain persons were disrespecting Mahaprasad. So finally he made his way to Jagannath Puri, Nilachal, where he found that devotees respected Mahaprasad as transcendental and pure. Even if a dog had touched it, still they didn't disrespect it. So he desired to become king so that he could worship Lord Jagannath there with his own hands. Then the king died, and there was no qualified person to succeed him. His oldest son had left home to engage in bhajan. Bhajan means serving Krishna through all of the mediums of bhakti. And the younger son didn't possess the necessary signs of a king. The people were in anxiety about who would inherit the throne, so they prayed to Jagannath. He revealed to them in a dream, the throne should be entrusted to whoever has the signs of a king on his hands and feet. So Jagannath Dev himself came in the dream of the pujaris and others. The proper signs must be there, and they cannot be cut in any way. Someone may have the proper signs, but they may be cut. He who has the unbroken signs of a flower, water pot, star, and conch shell should be made the king. Seeing these signs on my hands alone, Gopkumar is speaking, they installed me on the throne. So he had all the necessary signs. Jagannath gave direct instruction. So I carried on the deity's service for some time and was very happy. But ultimately, I began to feel detached from that place. Why? I saw that the pujaris were always fighting amongst themselves, And sometimes I could not see the deity because the mandir was closed. And this caused me to feel great separation. So here he's seeing that those who are the servants of the Lord are fighting amongst themselves. And this should be a lesson for us also. It also reflects negatively when we fight amongst ourselves. I just read a quote today from our Srila Prabhupada. He said, this will spoil the whole thing if we are fighting amongst ourselves. Why do we fight amongst ourselves? If we fail to keep the center Krishna, if we fail to keep the center as Sri Guru, if we fail to keep the center according to Shastra, and we begin concocting, creating, adding, subtracting, mixing other things, then separations and differentiations start to manifest. Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita talks about the beginning of a schism. Schism means a cut in the spiritual path. And he said it's when one begins deviating from the order of Guru. The order of Guru is the life and soul of the disciple. These days and other days and previous times, we see so much, how so many deviate from the instructions of the spiritual master, especially the instructions which are completely in alignment with Shastra. Sometimes Sri Guru gives instructions for individuals according to time, place, and circumstance. And that is not necessarily the instruction for all time. Srila Prabhupada said that one should be intelligent enough to distinguish between what is right and what is not right. We have to become, he used the words independently thoughtful. Independently thoughtful does not mean that we should be independent from Guru. It means we should be independently thoughtful from others who may be deviating. We should never be independent from Sri Guru and Krishna. The problem of our sojourn through this material existence, suffering, repeated birth, disease, old age, and death, is due to our mood of independence. What does Krishna want from us? He wants us to give our full heart. And that one little thing that we have left, our independent mood. But he won't force it. But that is the source of pleasing Krishna, when we give him that. That one last thing that I think is mine. When we give him our independence, this is pleasing to Krishna. And at that point, we can be said to be surrendered. So he saw these pujaris fighting. As I told you, Prabhupada said that it would spoil the whole thing. Srila Bhaktivedanta Maharaja explained what one pointed is. He said, if you have the same center, like a compass, you put the needle in the center, from there you can draw thousands of concentric circles, and as long as the needle is in the center, there will be no conflict whatsoever. That's why there's no conflict in Aprakat Vrindavan Dham. It may appear to be that way with Svapaksha and Vipaksha gopis and things like that. But actually, because Krishna is the only center, everything is revolving around Krishna. And so even the nature of Svapaksha versus Vipaksha and Srimati Radhika's exhibiting man and walking away from Krishna, all of it is exclusively for the pleasure, happiness, and benefit of Krishna. Therefore, there is actually no conflict. But in this world, why do we find conflict everywhere? Because we fail to put Krishna in the center. We all want to be the centers ourselves. That's why we're here in the first place. What happens if you have hundreds of compass needles all next to each other, coming close to each other, and all drawing their circles next to each other? You only have conflict everywhere. And we see that in the world now. Conflict is everywhere. Why? Because everyone is self-centered and not centered on Krishna. So especially for devotees, if we want to have a united front, Harinam Sankirtan, then we need to keep Krishna in the center. And then it won't matter if one's from this group or that group. Group dynamics are natural, even in the transcendental realm. But if Krishna is the center, then everything can be beautiful and peaceful and can move forward. But we should try to avoid aparad, offenses. Try to keep straight according to Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. So Gopkumar is feeling dissatisfied seeing the pujaris fighting amongst themselves, and sometimes he could not see the deity because the mandir was closed, and this caused him to feel great separation. Also, he says, Lord Jagannath never spoke to me. I was chanting my Gopal mantra, and I desired to have the darshan of that Gopal who plays freely and independently with the gopis. So here we see that his mantra was already having its effect, awakening within his heart his own inherent nature of a gop, of a cowherd boyfriend to Krishna. And so when he was there in front of Jagannath, he wasn't feeling that same reciprocation. He was desiring to feel that kind of reciprocation. But in Jagannath Puri, especially in Nilachal, Jagannath is like Dwarkadish. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in his full mood of prem, experiencing the bhava of Srimati Radhika, was only seeing his or her Ishtadev everywhere. So when Mahaprabhu was seeing Jagannath, he saw Jagannath as Sakshat Brajendra Nandan. But here, Gopakumar, we don't see that he has realized his perfected state yet. So he's not experiencing this state of Uttam. The nature of Uttam Bhakta, Ishvaratad Adhineshu. They see their Ishtadev everywhere. They don't exactly see the material world and the workings or the internal workings of the material energy. Rather, they see their own Ishtadev present everywhere. So Gopkumar is saying, I desire to have the darshan of that Gopal who plays freely and independently with the gopis. This is one of the reasons why it is so imperative that we should chant our mantras regularly. Because even if we don't realize its potency, fire, even if we don't realize that fire will burn us, if we put our hand in fire, it will act and it will burn. In the same way, the mantra begins to reveal one's Ishtadev by its own potency. Because we've heard that mantra from the mouth of Sri Guru, and he has implanted that mantra in our heart. That mantra is not just a mantra. It is the sound form of divine personalities. It is the sound form of our Ishtadev. And as we go deeper and deeper into that mantra, gradually our Ishtadev from that mantra will begin to reveal himself or themselves to us, as is happening with Gopkumar. So he wanted a darshan of that Gopal who plays freely and independently with the Gopas. I was unable to embrace Jagannath and have such free dealings with him as I desired. This is quite interesting. I was unable to embrace Jagannath and have these free dealings with him as I desired. We see even in the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how when he went in front of Jagannath, he was dancing so fervently and collapsing on the floor, and then he started running toward Jagannath. And that time all of the pujaris were like, ah! And then Mahaprabhu collapsed. And they wanted to beat him with sticks. They wanted to beat Mahaprabhu, but Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya recognized, wait a second, these are no ordinary symptoms. These are symptoms of ashtasattvic bhavas, transcendental ecstasy. Perhaps it's better that we don't beat him. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who was in charge of that area and everything at that time, he brought Mahaprabhu to his own home and nursed him back to health. And then we see the beautiful conversations and relationship that developed between Sarvabhauma and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So here, Gopkumar also was not able to just freely run and embrace Jagannath. Excuse me. Then one day I saw my spiritual master receiving darshan in the temple. But he was so overwhelmed with emotion that I could not approach him. It's very interesting. His spiritual master disappeared from his vision when he was in Vrindavan. And then he sees his spiritual master in Puri. Did he disappear? Did he leave? How did he see his spiritual master? When we go to Dhir Samir, there they had direct darshan, with Dhyan Chandra Goswami, had direct darshan of Gopal Guru Goswami. Although it appeared that he had left this world in Puri. But here he had direct darshan of his Guru in Dhir Samir, in Vrindavan. And he realized, my Guru has not left. If one has a deep connection with their Gurudev, they will always see their Gurudev present with them. Our Srila Prabhupada said the same thing about his Gurudev, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. I never see that my Gurudev, my Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, is not present with me. He is always with me. And our Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, said that I myself, when I have any deep question in my heart, I talk to my Gurudev and he responds. I also speak to Rupa Goswami and others, our Guru Varga. They are not like us, material bodies. They are transcendental personalities. And if we are sincere and we are really trying to dive deep, we can connect with them on an internal level.
I just wanted you maybe to tell how Gurudev was with Srila Prabhupada in his samadhi, or in Radha Damodar.
Was that in 96 when we went?
I don't remember what year.
So many years before, we were on Brajmandal Parikrama with our Gurudev, and he took us to Sri Radha Damodar Mandir. When he went there, he went into our Srila Prabhupada's room, and there's a beautiful murti, deity of Srila Prabhupada there. Our Gurudev offered Dandavat Pranam, and then he began speaking to the murti and laughing. Do you remember when I used to come and visit you here? How you would throw down your ripped chadar? He said Prabhupada at that time was so poor he only had one old chadar with holes in it. How we would sit together and discuss the pastimes of Krishna. How you would chant Sri Rupa Manjari Pada and weep, and we would do kirtan together. Do you remember when we would cook chapatis together? You would roll them and I would puff them. And he was having a beautiful, sweet conversation with Prabhupada's murti, laughing, and his eyes were wide open, and with so much excitement and enthusiasm. I had never seen anything like that before. We hadn't. But it was amazing to witness. He was speaking with him. We look and we're like, oh yeah, that's a nice deity.
It looks like Prabhupada.
It looks like Prabhupada. And he was like, this is Prabhupada, and I'm having a conversation with him. What a difference. This is also a speciality of the Brajavasis, especially the real Brajavasis. They have a connection, a beautiful, sweet connection to their Thakurji. They talk to their deities. They don't think that there's something on the altar that you kind of like, okay, that's nice. No, they have a connection, a beautiful connection. But the real Brajavasis, Mande Rupa Sanatano Ragujugo Sri Jiva Gopalako, our Guru Varga, Rupa Anuga Guru Varga, they have real connection with all of these divine personalities. They're able to connect. How is it possible? Tang Sarva Bhuta Hridaya Munimanatosmi. They are present everywhere at all time and they're able to connect. Rupa Goswami is not some person of the past who was there 500 years ago and then he's gone forever. He's a divine, transcendental personality. That's why Raghunath Das Goswami says in Sri Manashiksha, when the dacoits of lust, anger, greed, madness, envy, pride, and all of these anarthas come attacking us when we're walking down the open road, at that time, we don't have enough power on our own to defend ourselves. How can we defend ourselves from all of these dacoits? He says, so we should call out loudly to the generals. Who are those generals? Swarupam, Shri Rupam, Sahagana Tasyagrajamapi, Sahagana Tasyagrajamapi. Swarup Damodar Goswami, Sri Rupa Goswami, his elder brother Sanatan Goswami, our Guru Varga, our Gurudevs. We should pray, cry out to them. They are the powerful generals. And they're much more powerful than our anarthas. They're much more powerful than our mountains of pride and lust and all of these things. In one moment they can come and they can kick all of those things away very easily. But it was beautiful to witness our Gurudev speaking to Srila Prabhupada. So one day I saw my spiritual master receiving darshan in the temple. Receiving darshan. Interesting, isn't it? The language. He was receiving darshan. Today I read from our Gurudev, don't chant. Rather you should serve Harinam Prabhu. Don't eat anything. Rather you should serve Mahaprasad. That doesn't mean with a spoon going from person to person. It means you are doing seva to Mahaprasad. Don't hear Harikatha. Do Harikatha seva. Serve Harikatha. Don't think that I'm the doer. And he said, and we can't even see Krishna. We can't see the deity. We like to come and think, oh, how beautiful. Oh, I like to enjoy. He said, but when we stand in front of Thakurji, we should think, with these material eyes, I don't have the capacity to see you. Please be merciful and grant me darshan. I am not the doer. You are the doer. Please be merciful to me and give me your darshan. We should have this mood. It's a complete shift in consciousness from I am the doer, I am doing this thing, I am doing that, I am chanting Harinam, to only endeavoring to serve Sri Harinam Prabhu. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that he can only be known as he is in truth by pure loving devotion. Bhaktya tvananyaya sakya aham eve vidorjuna gyatam drashtum chatatvena praveshtum chaparantapa. He's telling Arjuna, if you want to know me in truth as I am, then it can only be done via the process of ananya bhakti. Or as Srila Prabhupada would translate, unalloyed devotional service, or as our Gurudev would translate, one-pointed bhakti. Right? One-pointed. Only by that process of unalloyed, unmixed, pure, focused, one-pointed, loving devotion, which is manifest as service with the desire to please Krishna, will Krishna reveal himself, known to us. So through that process of serving all of these different forms of Krishna, Krishna in the form of his holy name, Krishna in the form of his Mahaprasad, Krishna in the form of his Harikatha, Krishna in the form of his Archa Vigraha, through that process then he may reveal himself. So here he is saying that my Gurudev was receiving darshan in the temple. Means Krishna was manifesting himself to his Gurudev. But he was so overwhelmed with emotion that I could not approach him. He was just gazing at Jagannath. Thinking that I would speak with him later, I looked away. But when I looked again, Guruji had vanished.
This point of him not wanting to disturb him while he's having his darshan, it reminds me of one time when we were at Sri Radhakund with Gurudev, and he was having his darshan of Radhakund. Do you remember what happened?
Maybe it was around the year 2000. We were on parikrama with our Gurudev. And after doing Govardhan Parikrama, we finally came to Sri Radhakund. And there our Gurudev Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj began to call out that prayer. Ha Devi Kaku Barakat Gadaya Devacha Yache Nipatya Bhuvidanda Vadupatarthi Asya Prasadam Abudasya Janasya Kritva Gandharvike Tavagane Gananang Videhi. Calling out this beautiful prayer to Srimati Radhika. That I'm falling flat like a stick in front of you. Please be merciful to me. Without you, I cannot live. Please be merciful to me and count me as one of your own. And then he went into a state of desperate weeping. He could not stop himself. He was weeping and weeping, and he was looking around left and right, and all of us were just silent and just watching. The room was full, and he was just crying and crying, feeling this emotion of complete supplication at the lotus feet of Srimati Radhika. And it felt like it was going for a long time, and we were all kind of like just sitting there with him, but we were quiet, all of us. You could practically hear a pin drop. And then from the back, one lady from Bengal, she started wailing really loud, out loud. Ah! That moment, Gurudev's mood broke. He just went like this, externally. And then he started speaking about so many other things, but his mood was very different after that. So the mood was disturbed. Also sometimes, Sudevi is making the point that we should worship the lotus feet of Srila Gurudev with great care and attention. Bandomoi sabdhana mate. Sabdhan means with great awareness, attention. Beware. If you are driving from the highway, from Delhi to Vrindavan or the other way, all of these road signs are there in the middle of the highway. As a warning, it says Sadhan. Be careful, there's danger. So one should worship Sri Guru very carefully, to take care not to disturb the mood of Guru or Krishna in what they're experiencing. Like our Gurudev, I remember many times, he would be at any location offering his Dandavat Pranam. He would arrive in any place in Vrindavan, and he would fall flat like a stick and offer his Dandavat Pranam. And as he's offering his Pranam, someone is coming and grabbing dust off of his feet physically. And that's like a disturbance. We should not disturb the mood of Sri Gurudev. We can take dust from behind, but we shouldn't grab it off his feet. And also when we are in Sudevi, at that time, Srila Gurudev would only go in his elderly years with us to a couple of locations. One was Mansarovar, another one was Sudevi at Govardhan. He couldn't go everywhere. In the beginning he was going everywhere, but after so many years, his health only allowed him. So at Sudevi there, all of the devotees would take prasadam. He would join us there because it's an aparad bhanjan pit. A place where aparads that we know about or don't even realize can be removed.
And he knew if he went, we would all for sure.
Yes, he knew that if he went there, we would always all be there. And then he would tell the glories of that place and tell us to bathe or take achman in that place and pray for forgiveness from our aparads. So that time, we would also take prasad. And Srila Gurudev would receive some prasad, one plate. And as soon as he would start to take, everyone would go, they put their hands out in front of him. He couldn't even take breakfast because everyone wanted to take his breakfast from him. So this is also disturbing his mood. What is he doing when we talked about this, he's serving Mahaprasad. He's serving Krishna in this form. Afterward, he may give the prasad of his own volition, but we shouldn't try to take it from him before he's himself served Mahaprasad. So we just wanted to clarify that. So he's saying that his Guruji had vanished. He looked away for a moment, and when he looked back, his Guruji had vanished. I was again upset at losing him. The following day, while wandering on the shores of the ocean, I saw him seated there. Is it still on?
Yes, it's still working.
I saw him seated there. There was foam on his mouth and tears in his eyes as he was saying, Krishna, Krishna. There's one verse Srila Rupa Goswami tells, and it's the mood of Srimati Radhika. Tunde tandavani ratim vitonate tundavali labdhaye karna krodha kadambani gatayate karnabude vyaskriham cheta prangana sangini vijayate sarvendriyanam kritim no jane janitakya vir amritai krishneti varnadvaye. How much nectar is in this name, in these two syllables, Krishna? How much nectar is present within there? Maybe not for us at this point, but for those who are actually tasting Krishna's name. There it is said, these 2 ears are insufficient for drinking the nectar of Krishna's name. I require millions of ears. And this one tongue is insufficient for tasting that nectar. I require millions of tongues to taste that nectar. And when vibrating these 2 syllables, Krishna, he enters deep within the core of your heart. And all of one's senses become inert. It means you completely lose track of your external senses. Completely internalized. That is why Shastra says that for that person who is tasting real Krishna Nam, evam vratasva priyanamakyatya, they're like a mad person, sometimes dancing, laughing, crying, falling on the ground, foaming at the mouth, as we just heard. Their arms and legs sometimes extending, sometimes contracting, all kinds of ashtasattvic bhavs manifesting on their body. And what? They have no idea and no care about what anyone of the world, loka bahya, means any worldly person, thinks or says about them or their condition, because they're completely internalized in their seva to Krishna. So here Gopkumar is seeing his Gurudev foaming at his mouth and tears rolling from his eyes as he's saying, Krishna, Krishna. I have to tell one other thing here. Our Srila Gurudev in 1989 had massive complications with his heart. So he went to the hospital. His astrology said, supposedly, this is what they told us, that he wasn't supposed to make it past that time. But anyhow, he went to the hospital. They did open heart surgery. But before that, they gave him injections. You know, to...
Put him under.
Yeah, what's the other word?
Anesthesia.
Anesthesia. Some anesthetic to put him under so that they can perform this surgery. But he was chanting, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. They gave him the injection. He was still chanting, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. They thought maybe something was wrong with that injection. They gave him another one. I heard they gave like 2 or 3. A lot more than they give to the normal person. And throughout the surgery, even though externally it seemed like he was unconscious, all of their surgery was going on, but still his lips continued to, and his mouth continued to vibrate the holy name. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. It is said that those doctors who did that surgery afterward, they all fell at his feet and became his disciples. He could not stop chanting the holy name. What kind of taste is there in the holy name? So after bringing his Gurudev back to external consciousness, that's why I told that katha. Gopkumar says, I fell at his feet, and then he told me the purport of the mantra and some regulations for chanting it. He said, this mantra will bestow whatever one desires. Gopal mantra. Remember which mantra we're talking about. Gopal mantra. Starts with clean. Gopal mantra. So he began telling the purport and some regulations for chanting this mantra. He said, this mantra will bestow whatever one desires. If you desire to see Bhagavan himself or anything else, this mantra will fulfill your desire. Which means this mantra is non-different from Krishna. Krishna says, as one approaches me, I reciprocate accordingly. So if with this mantra you desire to see Krishna or serve Krishna, this mantra will fulfill that because it is non-different from Krishna. But if you desire anything else, this mantra will also grant that. This mantra will fulfill your desire. After saying a little more, he again became absorbed in emotion. And where he went after that, I don't know. Which mantra is this? Remember, the Gopal mantra. Although at present our faith may not be fully developed, just see how much power is contained within the Gopal mantra. Previously, I don't know if you recall, when I was in the main temple, downstairs in Gopinath Bhavan temple, Srila Gurudev was explaining something about this Gopal mantra. He said, who is the deity of the Gopal mantra? Gopal Krishna. Which Gopal Krishna? It is according to the particular sentiment of the devotee. So here, what nature is within the heart, in seed form of the devotee, the particular form of Gopal will manifest according to the intrinsic nature of that devotee's love and affection for Krishna, which is already inherently, eternally present within. Our Gurudev explained 1,000 times in 1,000 different ways. His Gurudev explained, his Gurudev explained, his Gurudev explained. Our Prabhupada, Srila Govinda Maharaj, all of our Guru Varga have explained. Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj, so many. And all of those who are present in that amazing conversation, which is recorded within Acharya Kishori, the biography of our Param Gurudev, all of those stalwart disciples of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, our Gurudev said, you cannot imagine the level of their qualification. Bhakti Jivan Janardhan Maharaj. So many amazing, powerful, the cream of the crop of the disciples of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. So they all had unanimously understood, realized, and preached the same as Bhaktivinod Thakur preached, because we are in Bhaktivinod Dhara. What our Guru Varga have understood of their parampara, we accept their understanding and their conclusions. This is proper discipleship. Not to jump over the head of our Guru, but to accept or understand our Guru's understanding of his Guru and Guru Parampara. So many times we can read from Srila Prabhupada, our Gurudev, Param Gurudev, that it is nothing to be had from an outside source. It's not that Guru gives you your swarup. It's already inherent within. Like an apple tree is inherent within an apple seed. Its potential is there, it just needs to be placed in the proper environment for it to manifest its nature. In the same way, we also have our eternal, inherent, constitutional relationship with Krishna. And when we come into the correct association, that sadhu sangha will nourish or awaken our particular inherent serving tendency toward Krishna. And the proof of this is in Jaiva Dharma chapter 1. First thing that happened, Gurudev told 2 different disciples. He didn't say, you're all gopis. No, one, you're a sakha. The other one, you're a gopi. It's your intrinsic nature. He didn't change them according to his own personal bhav. He was in gopi bhav. Therefore, he could nourish sakya bhav and gopi bhav. But he did not change their swarup. Srila Gurudev explained that Sri Guru, because he's Tattvadarshi, can see the intrinsic nature of the soul. How that soul eternally is meant to worship and serve Krishna. And he gives the necessary nutrients for that soul to attain its perfection. Shravana, this is sadhu sangha. Hearing from the sadhus. Mahaprabhu says, Shravana kirtana jale kore sechan. That hearing Harikatha and then doing kirtan means repeating that Harikatha and doing kirtan of Krishna's names, forms, qualities, and pastimes. This is the water which nourishes that soul's inherent necessity, its inherent nature of service to Krishna. So Gurudev is saying it's according to the particular sentiment of the devotee. To some, it is that Gopal who takes the cows out to graze. We're talking about Gopal mantra here. For some, it is baby Krishna sitting in the lap of Yashoda. So there's Gwal Gopal, means Krishna who's going out with his cowherd boy friends and the calves. There's Bal Gopal, or Laddu Gopal, baby Gopal, who is sitting on the lap of Mother Yashoda. So here we see Sakya Bhav, Vatsalya Bhav. And for those in Madhurya Ras, it is Kishor Gopal. Go means so many different things. Go means senses. Go means cows. Go means calves. Go means Govardhan. Go means Gopas. Go means Gopis. So Gopal, who is the pal or the maintainer of all of these according to their respective natures. So for this Brahmin, it was Krishna taking the cows out to graze, playing the flute and wandering in the forest of Vrindavan in the company of his cowherd friends. So this same mantra will give us the result according to our inherent nature. We'll read this really quick. I know it's difficult for me. We should have a mood when chanting the mantra. When will it be? When will it be? We should have great eagerness. We should chant with our hearts, and then we will see that this mantra will bestow his direct darshan. We should have this feeling, when will I get the full result of the mantra? When we chant in precisely the way that the spiritual master has taught us, ridding our heart of all desires for sense enjoyment, with humility, with tears coming to our eyes in remembrance. This will bring Gopal. We must chant with a steady mind and exclusive sentiment, and eventually the mantra will give us direct darshan of Sri Krishna himself. So powerful and so essential and important to take shelter of our Diksha mantras. So Gurudev is saying, just see how much power is contained within the Gopal mantra. Gopkumar continued, my faith increased by hearing just these few words from my Gurudev, and with great love I chanted my mantra. At that time, I was feeling indifferent to Nilachala. Why is he feeling indifferent? Because his mantra is awakening within him. And means the sambandha, the relationship between that soul and his eternal beloved, his particular Ishtadev. So at a certain point, other forms will not have the same pull or the same attraction. Just like we told before, for Hanuman, he wasn't attracted to Dwarkadish Krishna in the same way he was attracted to Ram. Krishna sent Garuda from Dwarka, you go and get Hanuman. Tell him I want to see him. Garuda went to see Hanuman. Krishna wants to see you, he's just now in Dwarka. Hanuman said, yes, just now coming. Garuda went back to Krishna in Dwarka, and they waited and waited and waited. Hanuman never came. Krishna told Garuda, you go back and you tell him, just now, Sri Ram is in Dwarka. And Ram wants to see him. So Garuda went back to see Hanuman. Hanuman is chanting, Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Garuda told Hanuman, just now your Prabhu Ram is in Dwarka and he wants to see you. Hanuman said, just now coming. So as Garuda is flying back to Dwarka, he sees Hanuman coming from the direction of Dwarka. He said, what's going on? He said, I've seen him, everything is okay, now I'm going back to my bhajan, to do my chanting. In other words, when he heard that Ram was calling him, immediately he went there. When Krishna called him, he didn't have the same pulling. This is ekantik bhav, one-pointedness toward one's particular Ishtadev, that particular worshipful form of the Lord that is my inherent, true, worshipful Lord. Particular. So he began to feel a little bit indifferent because that wasn't the particular form of his worshipful Lord. I began feeling indifferent to Nilachala, and then I heard from some sages that in the heavenly planets, Indra is serving Bhagavan directly. Very interesting. So he's becoming attracted more and more toward the personal form and toward his own sambandha, although it hasn't fully awakened yet. But he's becoming attracted and wants to move toward that very personal form who is the prananath of his soul. So chanting his mantra, intense hankering for going there arose within him. Intense hankering arose within him, and he immediately arrived in Indralok. You know, these days people talk about the secret. Whatever you desire manifests. In the material world, it is true also. We have to taste the result of our desires. So we will taste that. And some people think it is only what you wish for, you will get that thing. But they don't realize that material nature has a karmic balance. So to the extent that we enjoy in this material world, to that extent we will also have to suffer. So there's payback. We can't just take things from the universe. Okay, universe, let me win the lottery. And then we win the lottery, and then as a result of that, we have to taste the curse of the lottery. Many of you understand what that means. All the happiness that comes, then we have to balance that with the distress. That's the nature of this material world. But the real secret is when one desires to serve Krishna, easily they can cross beyond all material considerations. Gopkumar here has just instantly transferred himself from this world to Indralok by his desire to serve Bhagavan directly. Is it time?
I think we should do some.
Okay. So we will stop here. Thank you very much for participating and giving this opportunity for me to read and remember these beautiful teachings of our Gurudeva and Guru Varga.
Please stay for the moment.
Please stay for the Mahamantra Kirtan and to receive darshan of Thakurji. As our Gurudev said, he told us directly that our Thakurji want to go travel all over the world and see their devotees everywhere. So that means they want to see you. That's darshan. So we should be in such a way that they will want to see us. Shri going Beyond Vaikuntha ki jai, Shri Gurudev ki jai, Shri Sanatan Goswamipada ki jai,
Vaisnava Facebook Sangha ki
jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.
Hare
सरकार की जय, गिरिराज महाराज की जय, हरिनाम संकीर्तन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय, गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe 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 Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe. Shri Radha Vino Bihari Ju ki Jai, Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Shyam. So thank you very much for being with us. And we look forward to seeing you or to being with you all tomorrow to continue with going beyond Vaikuntha. Dhanavad Pranam. Hare Krishna. Radhe Radhe.